here. For example, I select amylase A, click add to my pathway, and name my pathway 1, which is the same, you see, it's a different symbol. This symbol is for enzyme. Okay. So now, if I would like to know what are the downstream effects of p53, I just need to click on p53, select it, and use the tool build. Here we have a multiple, I think like 6 different tools. The first one is grow. For example, select grow. So, in the tool row, you're going to ask me whether I would like to study the direct or indirect downstream or upstream effector of p53, and how many molecules I would like to put in this map. For example, you can put 1,000 or 200 or whatever, but I recommend like less than 50 because otherwise it's going to be very busy map. And usually I select just direct interaction. Upstream or downstream means that in this case, we would like to add 20 molecules, either upstream or downstream of p53 in the signaling pathway. For example, if we would like to know only the downstream effector of p53, then I select downstream. And you're going to ask me whether I should use the Ingenuity knowledge base or some other relationship that I can upload manually to RPA. I recommend using the default selection, which is Ingenuity knowledge base. And the data source. Here you can see we have multiple sources. I also recommend leaving it like that. Species, you can check human, mouse, rat, or uncategorized. I don't know what it means. Yeah, but usually I check human. And we can also narrow out our search to different kind of tissue, organs or cell line. And what kind of filter we would like to use, a stringent, meaning strict filter, or relaxed filter. And also what kind of relationship, like activation or chemical interaction. This is for drug study, or chemical protein interaction, expression, inhibition, lead to localization, membership meaning that belong to the same family, or modification, molecular cleavage, phosphorylation, protein, etc. And also the publication range. For example, from when to when. Here I select from January 1954 to July 2013. And what kind of disease or biofluid molecule, etc. Okay. So when I select all of the filters, then I click apply, and IPA will grow from IPA. Okay, so this is what you see. It's a lot to study. Okay. You can delete something, just select it and use delete selected. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, so you can move it around, no problem. So this is the microRNA. This meaning that p53 enhance the expression of this microRNA. And also activate this gene. This is PVT1 phosphogene. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to manually arrange all of this. So I recommend you use this function, auto layout. Okay. When you click auto layout, it will automatically arrange for you. And you can click screen view again. Okay. So now you see p53 can transactivate multiple microRNA and also multiple gene as well. if you would like to know about the relationship, just click on it. And here you have all of the information right here. The second tool I recommend I present to you is Path Explorer. Path Explorer will help you build a pathway connecting 2 or 3 genes together. For example, let me zoom in and delete some of them first. I'm going to delete this microRNA. Just keep p53. Oh, we can also copy all of this and paste it into PowerPoint, or we can export it into Excel or Jetpack Figure very easily. Okay, so that just p53. And let's just take an example, like in one study, we expect the cells with p53, and then we observe that the cell seems to die faster when we treat them with drugs. So we develop a hypothesis that p53 can affect cell apoptosis, for example. And one of the genes we see that regulation is BCL2. This is an important anti-apoptosis gene. So we're going to use IPA to explore the potential interaction and crosstalk between B53 and BCL2. So I already have B53 in the map already, so now I'm just going to add BCL2 in the same pathway. Okay, let's see pathway. We can also save this pathway into your training project. I can call this like practice. Okay. I'm going to save. So when you create an account on IPA, this account will contain a folder named training pathway, and that account will belong to you. All of the analysis you did on be saved over there. Okay, so finish saving already. Now I would like to know what the relationship between these 2 molecules, so I can use Path Explorer. So Path Explorer, in set A, I will select p53. Okay, here I will select p53 first, and then click Add. And here, see set A, p53, and then I select BCL2. I will select a set B. Set B. Okay. Then click. And then you're going to ask me what kind of direction we need that from set A to set B. If we select from set A to set B, we would like to study how p53 can affect BCL2. So BCL2 in this case will become a downstream effector of p53. If we click set B to A, then it's going to be the reverse direction, or any direction. Meaning that that crosstalk could be both ways. Then click Apply. So here I already have the result. This is one potential relationship between BCL2 and p53. So I select right here and add it. So you're gonna see p53 can inhibit so p53 can inhibit the expression of BCL2, and BCL2 can also affect p53 as well. And you see, we have here multiple types of interaction between these 2 proteins and these 2 genes. So if you would like to know more, just click on it, and you're going to see all the description. Just one more example, like I also observed that p53 can affect TGF-beta signaling, for example, and I would like to know how that happened. So I'm going to type TGF-B1 in the search box, click search, and then I'm going to add that gene into the same pathway as p53. As you remember, I already named that pathway as practice, so I just click here, practice. So okay. In this case, I don't like to study BCO2 anymore, so I'm gonna remove it. Now I have p53 and TGF-B1. So again, I have set A is p53 and set B is TGF-B1. We can have multiple genes in each set, but to make it simple, I just add one gene per set right now. So click apply. And IPA will tell me what kind of mediator will be in the middle of this crosstalk. So here you also have only one kind of short path in those two. So this is going to be a two-way interaction. The TGF-B53 can enhance TGF-beta1 and the reverse. TGF-B1 can also activate B53 as well. So that is for the path explorer. Okay. So now another tool we can use is connect. So we want to connect. It is a little similar to the Path Explorer. But the connector will give you a little bit more information. For example, here we know that p53 can activate itself because p53 has been known to self-transactivate. Another thing you can do is, for example, you can make it more complicated by adding a couple more genes here. For example, like NF-kappa B. So here I also have NF-kappa B right here. Add to my pathway. Okay, because NF-kappa B exists as a complex. So that's why you have this symbol. And I can do the same. I can add Path Explorer, and in the set B, I'm going to add NF-kappa B on that as well, and click apply. And so you're going to have the interaction between p53 and NF-kappa B complex. So now another feature MPA can do is, for example, we would like to know how p53 can have impact on the whole signaling pathway of NF-kappa B. So the first thing we need to do is to retrieve the canonical pathway of NF-kappa B. So I select NF-kappa B as a pathway. It's opening the canonical pathway. Okay, you see here, quite complicated pathway. So I will save this pathway, and I will add p53 in that pathway. So I'm going to save this into my training project. I call it the NF-kappa-B signaling 1. And here, it is saving. Okay. And then I will add p53 in that. Okay, for NF-p53, NF-kappa-B signaling 1 pathway. This is right here. So now it is right here. Okay. And if I would like to know how p53 can affect all the genes in this NF-kappa-B pathway, I will use use build, okay, and then I select Path Explorer, or I can also use Connect as well. I can use Connect as well. Apply. Okay. Like a spider network. Okay. So now you see p53. This is how it is affect all of those genes. I'm gonna use it doesn't give me the auto layout because this is already a canonical pathway. Let me go from you again. For example, you know that p53 is p53 can affect ZAP1 and an expression of ZAP17. It can also affect PKC delta, which will activate p65 railway complex. And alpha complex of p53 of an kappa-B signaling again can also have a lot of impact on p53, and p53 can reactivate itself as well. Okay. So this will, I know this is a lot of information, but this is going to help you in developing a solid hypothesis. For example, in case you have observation that p53 can affect an kappa-B target gene expression, and you do not know what happened, then you use IPA, and this is all the possible mechanism. You can test it out one by one, or you can narrow it down to just a direct interaction. So we're going to just neglect all of this dashed line, only focus on solid line only. Okay. So in doing so, you go back here, and we're going to select just direct. And click apply again. Okay, so you see when I select direct, there's no more relationship to add it because this is already previously I already have direct and indirect. But in case I just want to look at direct itself, then I will repeat the same step, which is delete P53, right? Search again and add P53 back again. And this time only use the direct search. Okay, this time I just select direct search and connect. So here we will have a little bit less indirect. Majority of here is just direct interaction. That's why you see just a solid line. This is direct solid line. Okay. IPA also have a little bit more to trim and keep tool, but I don't think you need to use it very often. Add molecule relationship is sometimes in the literature you have there's no description about the gene you are studying, or sometimes IPA, IPA they have a team specialized in reading PubMed every day and try to update the database as fast as they can, but sometimes the process cannot keep pace with the publication rates. So sometimes you have to manually add the relationship between the gene you study. Or sometimes the data you have is not published yet, but you need to build the graph. Then you can use add molecule and relationship manually add that into IPA. For IPA, you can do many things else. For example, you can do core analysis, toxicology analysis, biomarker filter, metabolomic analysis, microRNA target filter, biomarker comparison analysis. You can also design pathway, do some advanced search. You can compare between sample and import pathway that you design elsewhere. In this case, I will show you some of the analysis that we did before to illustrate how powerful IPA is. So let me open the pathway I did before. Let me close all of this. So, for example, this is one of the figure we made for our publication. So, in this study, we would like to know what is the impact of 14-2-3 sigma. 14-2-3 sigma has several names, like you mentioned earlier, and one of the most famous names is SFN or stratifin. So, in this case, I compare the patients who have low level of 14-2-3 sigma with breast cancer patients who have high level of 14-2-3 sigma, and see what is the change, what kind of change will happen when 14-3 sigma is downregulated. So this cluster of genes right here corresponds to one cancer hallmark. For example, this group of genes within MMP, this is metalloprotease, they're involved in the metastasis. Okay? These genes over here, the angiopoietin or PDGFFD, which is a growth factor, bladder-derived growth factor, those genes involved in angiogenesis. This is estrogen, CTCF, PDGF. This is involved in the growth of tumor cells. Some of the things like yes, STAT5A, STAT5B, IL-2, this involved in the inflammation or immune response. And this, like you remember, check 1, check 2, is involved in RAD51C or BRCA2, RAD51. Those genes involved in DNA repair, and this is the gene involved in the cancer metabolism, like hexokinase 2, glucose transporter 2, 3, 4, CMYC, etc. And this is involved